It's been said before, and I'll say it again. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So where would you rather be than right here and right now on the Ralph Rant? Let's go.
Welcome to the Ralph Rant, your source for hard-hitting Buffalo Bills takes. Now, here's your host of the Ralph Rant, that veteran watcher of generations of Bills teams, the prophet who predicted Josh Allen's greatness, that opinionated so-and-so you've walked out on parties because of, the Ralph.
Welcome to the Ralph Rant. I have no voice, I'm sure you don't either. The Buffalo Bills, in the Sean McDermott era, win their first road playoff game in Jacksonville, undoing the start of the road playoff game losing streak right where it began in Jacksonville, when in McDermott's very first season, following the 2017 season, actually just months before Josh Allen was drafted, the Bills lost 10-3 in Kyle Williams' one and only playoff game. But today, the Buffalo Bills were the battle-tested playoff team. And as I said on this podcast this morning in the pregame, I believed that going in, this would be the Bills' most difficult game in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. The Bills were working against a lot today. Jacksonville was hot. I didn't say much about them in my 5 reasons the Bills would win. And we're going to go over those 5 reasons later in the show, plus call out some other things. I've got a bunch of notes here in front of me. It was interesting at the beginning of the game, before kickoff, I saw Josh sitting on the sideline. And my note is that Josh looks meditative. He looks like he was just in his zone. Well, one and all, go ahead. If you've got your beverage in front of you guys, thanks for joining me. And certainly let's raise a glass and toast the Buffalo Bills' first road playoff victory in the Josh Allen era. And the McDermott era also. That's going to be a tough out for anybody else they face in the playoffs. We won't jump ahead here too much, but one thing that's very good, we all are very happy about watching more football now. That was close. Was your heart in your chest? I believed, yes. Did I pray? Yes. Was it out loud? Yes. Why do I don't have a voice? Well, it's coming back now. I guess it's the adult beverage. But I was calling the game halfway through. I get sick of listening to Romo. As many of you know, I kill off the sound. There were so many big moments in this game. McDermott's challenge on that 4th down when it was clear, that was great. I mean, we could just go through it here, but that's back to another game or so. But I mean, we all saw it. I'm not going to run down this play-by-play. Josh, of course, when he got hit down, that should have been a roughing call when they landed on him the first time. A lot of things weren't called today, if you noticed. I mean, these entire playoffs, college too, seems just to be not being officiated quite so tightly, not wanting to have the outcome of the games. But the 4th and 2 stop, of course, just so many great notes here. The 10-yard tush push that gets them to the next play, to the score, where you could see Jacksonville at that point just let them score. And then you had to wonder and worry at the end of the game. After the Bills kick off, after that score to make it 27-24. And Wisnowski, I believe, who is kicking, doing the kickoffs in place of Prater, which is working great, kicks it to about the 2, and the Bills are on top of it, get it out to the 23. Now there's 59 seconds left on the clock. We know that Cam Little of the Jaguars can kick a ball from the line of scrimmage being the 50-yard line. They don't have far to go, about 27 yards to even get there. And then on the very, very first play from scrimmage on the drive, Trey White tips the pass, and Cole Bishop is right there to get it and smartly gets down. Bills win. I can still hardly believe it, but I do believe it. And boy, Buffalo's going to be a tough team to face in these playoffs. A tough team to face. They might not dominate, but they're kind of like Rocky in a way that they can just get pounded on. Josh Allen, 3 different occasions where it looked like he might have, well, they checked him out for concussion in the tent. Of course, he had a lacerated ear, we could see. And then there was the first one, of course, where they just hit him and he came off, and I thought that might be a rib or something there. And then, of course, his knee was slightly hyperextended when he went in for the score, whatever it was earlier. So, tough game. Jaguars, a good team, called the hottest team in the league going in to these playoffs. But let's jump over to your comments. There are a bunch of them. There are 34 so far. Just call out who's here and so forth. Badass. Be here after the Bills win. Good call. Vito is here. Vito with great game. Old man White. Talk that up, brother. No Gabe Davis from here on out is going to hurt. The Bills took a huge beating all day today. Of course, this has to be Black Cloud. I didn't even need to read the handle before I started reading the gloom and the doom. Just kidding, brother. Keon Coleman will have a coming out party the rest of these playoffs. Go Bills, go Bills, go Bills. Who else we have here? Marcus here. I left the room halfway through the fourth quarter, conceding the loss. My wife was quiet, so I figured the game was over, and I went in and was all smiles. Holy shit. Wow. Oh, man, I never gave up. They was going to be just fine. Just fine. You think Josh Allen was getting denied on that last drive? I feel so bad for Davis. Indeed. Nice call up the Irons. Good to see you here. He deserves better. Well, I think he's going to get a ring anyway. And he was there for it, and he helped. Jaguars were hitting low, so cheap. Yeah. The hit on Josh at the goal line. And then that long third down completion they got, boy, they were holding whoever it was coming across from inside. It had to be Sanders, or I think it was Sanders. Both defenses today were booty cheeks, if I'm being obvious. I'm not sure what I think booty cheeks means. So Bills have to tighten up on defense going forward. Our run defense is shameful. They just won the game. Would you stop? Dear Taylor Salty, please do some theater stuff the next 3 Sundays. Yeah, you know what? We'll see about that. Although we'll see what happens here, because now with the Bills having won, and that's the first of the AFC playoff games. At 4 o'clock here, we'll have San Francisco at the Eagles, and then tonight it's the Chargers at the Patriots. And as you know, my predictions have the Chargers winning. If that's the case, the Chargers as a 7 seed would then travel to Denver for the divisional playoff, while Buffalo will travel to the winner of Monday night's playoff game at the Steelers. And has been widely reported, and get ready for this, under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers at home are 23-0 on Monday night. So, and I just, I think Houston, I just think they're going to crumble a little bit. I think the defense is good. The Jaguars' defense was good. Good teams are going to find a way. The Bills found their way today, and just still disbelieving Mrs. Ralph was excited as I've ever seen for a game. That's been an issue the whole year. Go Bills. The best running D shut down the best O running game. Flip it. Best passing D stop the hot passing team. There you go. Ralph, let's freaking go. Glad to see our boys break the Jags curse. Well, if you didn't see it, Peyton Manning got together with Josh Allen. You can go check out the video about breaking the Bills curse, which they attribute to the assassination of President McKinley in 1901. They went to that very spot and they took some artifacts because water is supposed to cleanse all these things, and put a barrel full of artifacts, including Thurman Thomas's lost helmet, Ronnie Harmon's gloves for missing the catch and the mistake by the lake, and other such things, perhaps the game plan from the fourth Super Bowl, who knows. But they threw it into Niagara River and it went over the falls. And the Bills won today. Norm, the Bills fan, is here. Fifth tipped ball is the charm. What a thriller. Yeah, instant classic. And the tipped balls, we saw Deion Walker get his hand on one. Trey got his hand on another one. Like you say, there were several others. How's your pulse doing, Ralph? Anyone need to take heart medicine after watching that game? Oh, my goodness. Patriots prediction? I think San Diego's beating them. Luckily, I was altered. Well, we're all getting altered a little bit after that one. Incredible. Let's go. Paul Chandler is here with us. Steve Buick is here with us. What a game. Felt like the OT divisional versus the Chiefs. It sure did. It sure did. Especially with the defense going back out in the field, not with 13 seconds, but with 59 seconds. Defense. Tell you, this defense is good. Paul Chandler, let's go. Vito Davis, play where he got hurt. Improper catch technique for that one. Reached out with hands, have to body catch. How about Rousseau and Tre'Davious White today? Absolutely. Rousseau on some of his run stops and some of the pressures they got. I mean, you could tell the Jags offense is a good offense. You know, you thought that we got Parker Washington out of there, but he came back in. That was that long throw he got for the first down when there was definitely a hold on Jacksonville that was never called. But then how about Josh's 36-yard connection with Brandon Cooks? Brandon Cooks' addition to this team is huge. It's huge. I'd like to have Gabe for this, but I think Keon Coleman is going to grow up and Keon Coleman is going to play a bigger role in these playoffs. You heard it here. The 10-yard tush push, though. Amazing. Got more of your comments here. Ralph, you have been right all season, but your 5 reasons were absolutely on target. Well, speaking of which, Scott, they actually weren't all on target, but you're being very kind because you're my brother. This is my brother, Scott, who's a former college coach and probably should have gone to coach in the pros. I actually called Jimmy Johnson for him one time years ago when Jimmy was at Miami. But this man knows football, and he's being too kind, though, on my 5 reasons. The first one, number 5, that reason would have been the Jaguars' winning streak is fragile. And we saw that it was. The Jaguars' winning streak, it was bound to be broken. Winning streaks are tough. They put a team, especially a young team, first-year head coach, a team that's good and coalescing, but nonetheless, you just put them in a spot when you have all of those wins stacked up. And then this good team comes in, but the good team is really good because the good team lets you think you can win for a while. I know we'd like to see the Bills blowing out teams 37-0 all through the playoffs. Hey, if that happens, I will take it. But that playoff win looked an awful lot like the Brady Patriots. So that was the reason number 5, the fragile winning streak of Jacksonville. I don't think anybody of theirs is on the chat here. Unfortunate. I did not respond to a single, and I know some of you posted great and very kind words and a lot of words about the show. I very, very much appreciate that. But there were so many comments on that video and so many comments from Jags fans that were basically saying Jags by 17, Buffalo was weak. Well, Buffalo was again predatory today. But the next reason was the rest advantage, and I think the Bills kind of demonstrated that a little bit. We know that Jacksonville was down Cole Van Lanen, their left tackle, and Walter Little played in his place. The next advantage running, and I don't know what James Cook's final totals were. Scott, maybe you can reply with those further down the stream here. But I don't think the Bills really managed the rushing game well. But Josh Allen was Josh Allen when Josh Allen needed to be Josh Allen. And I think that's what was clear. My other reason, strength of schedule. Yes, the Bills they're a more resilient team. I mean, people talk about better or worse teams. I heard that in a lot of the comments coming from the Jags fans that frankly attacked my 5 reasons the Bills would win. And many of them were about the fact, well, the Jags are better than the Bills. Well, better compared to what? That's why they play the games. And in this particular case, what showed through the most was really my reason number 1 of the 5 that I gave, which was the Bills have Josh Allen and the Jacksonville Jaguars do not. And the Bills are battle-tested in the playoffs. They've been there. They've been through 13 seconds. They were there. The Jaguars have not been. And the Jaguars may be great in years to come. Liam Coleman may prove to be a great coach. But the Buffalo Bills are for real. And no, they didn't blow out teams in December. No, they did not blow out the Jaguars. Or Jaguars, if I'm being correct. But I can't pronounce much of this Jacksonville Jaguars stuff. They've got their term that they have that they shout. I've seen it written a few times. It looks like duh Val. I don't know what duh Val means. It's my response to some of the shit I heard from Jaguars fans to my video. The Buffalo Bills are a different team. They are closer. They are tougher. They are mentally tougher. Mistakes in the playoffs, and I said this in the pregame show, mistakes in the playoffs can be exponential in terms of creating doubt. And the Bills' toughness is to be able to get over those. Ray Davis fumbles that kickoff return, handing the Jaguars the ball at the 32, I believe. They drive down for the score. The Bills have been there, and they've done that. And they've been there and done that more than any other team in the playoffs. And by the way, every AFC team now remaining in the playoffs that could possibly be an opponent of the Bills, they've beaten most of them. We'll have to see. But thank you very much, my brother Scott, for listening in. I'll have to get my brother Mark on here at some point also. Former NFL guard with the New York Giants back in 1985. And if you're wondering, yes, the Salter brothers, that's who we are big dudes. I'm 6'4". Scott is 6'4", maybe a little taller. Mark was like 6'5", and he's the one that played in the pros. But there's a picture in my mom's house of the two of them side by side as Canisius College guard and tackle out in front of a suite. And it belongs in a book someplace. It's very cool. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Donald Ohina, thank you very much. You're right. Let's effing go, Bills. Ooh, I lost that one. Ralph, I'm toasting the Bills with my Labatt's. I've been waiting for you and this show. Unreal. Wow. Mark, thank you for being here. A celebration, guys. Because this is just getting started, baby. Because I believe that I've said a number of times that the Bills resemble Secretariat to me. Secretariat, of course, the horse in 1973 that won the Triple Crown and is considered to be, widely considered to be, the greatest athlete, animal, or human on the planet ever. There may have been raptors back in the Jurassic Age that were better athletes, probably were, but Secretariat was amazing. The Bills have a big heart. Secretariat had a big heart, actually 3 times the size of a normal horse heart at 22 pounds. But Secretariat liked to get behind. He liked catching up. He liked the feeling of beating someone. He liked ripping out somebody's heart. And that's what the Bills did today. And they're going to do it twice more in the AFC portion of this tournament. Similar to the early races in the Triple Crown for Secretariat, where Secretariat liked to get behind the pack for a while and then catch up and win at the end. Yeah, baby. But when they get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be like the Belmont Stakes because they're just going to get out in front and they're just going to run as fast as they can. And like the Godfather once said, I believe that now, and I believe that then. Let's get to more of your comments here. How long have we been going even here? Not even half an hour. It's like a time warp with the Bills winning a road playoff game with Josh Allen's first ever fourth quarter comeback in a playoff game. If you can believe that. And although he came into this playoff game with 25 touchdowns and 4 interceptions only in his playoff career, certainly this game was on a different level. Let's get these comments going. Dennis Maximchuk is in the house. Here, I went down too far. I'm going to get more of these. Ralph, I'm over 10 years sober from the sauce, so have a drink for me and Ralph and that toast. Black Cloud, I certainly will. You need to stay on this podcast in order to continue to be the voice of reason if I get out of hand with any little tidbit of gloom and doom you can bring to it. We need to stay grounded. This season has been a year of broken records. Let's keep this going. We missed out, although, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Talk it up, brother. We're getting through these. Back down. The season has been, we got to that one already. Come on, get it together, Ralph. Cheers, on to Houston. Yeah, I don't think so. The Bills, I believe, will be meeting the Steelers in the divisional round. But who knows? It all depends on tonight. But how much better does all this football now that the Bills have won? And how about those games last night again? All 3 wildcard games thus far have been really sick, wild, down to the end. And in the first one, the road team won. And in the second one, the road team lost. Now the third one, the road team won, the Bills. JDLESSHW. I like it. It's hard to say. Romo was god-awful. Network should provide a mute button to shut him the hell up. That's why my voice is so screwed up, because my wife has her friends that she's texting with during the games. She's that kind of fan. So she's looking down some of the time. And I, as most of you know, am the future voice of the radio voice of the Buffalo Bills. Now here's Josh Allen back. He's got some pressure on him. He's going to be hit, and he throws downfield, and it's Brandon Cooks, 36 yards downfield. Can you believe it? The Bills with a first down, and the Bills remain alive. I love it. I cheer it with a coffee. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you guys for being here. Guys, I got to tell you, I know a lot of you now. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you sound like. But I know the letters that describe you and the quotes that define you, and I love it. Thank you so much for being part of this channel. I started it on a whim almost, and I can't believe the success it's had, so very, very much appreciated. Some really strong words from a lot of you guys. Ivan and me is here. Go Bills. Thank you indeed. We've got 50 on the show now. Where are you guys coming from? You've got 34 or 33 now on YouTube, 16 on X. Again, we're not going to take it too deep here. We know what's going on. We know what needs to happen next. Come on, guys. Only 4 likes. Come on, hit the like button, guys. Just do it while you're sitting there. Just reach down with your mouse and do it. Even have a sip of your drink before and after. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're probably getting close to around 1,500 now. I'd like it to be 2K by the time the Bills kick off in Super Bowl in Santa Clara. We had no run game. We could have had 3 more defensive interceptions with so many tipped balls, too many penalties, some bad injuries. Prater stopped kicking the kickoffs. Yes, and Wisnowski is doing great. And yes, all of those other things are true. But they won the football game. And I believe this was their toughest test on the AFC side of things. And I'm not so sure Philadelphia isn't the other. And for what you saw from the Bills today, they can't stop the run. They don't have any receivers. But they just somehow keep winning. Who knows? They're going to be all right. Jimmy Jam, 1980s is here. Dirty hits by the Jags, terrible calls for the rest, and we still got the win. Let's go Buffalo. Let's get through these, guys. Stephen Buick, how about that 80% pass completion by Allen? 28 of 35. Yes, he was 9 of 10 to start the game. And I hate when they put those stats up. Announcers' curses are real. That's why I don't listen to them. The throw to Cooks while taking a big hit was the play of the game. Yes, it was. He was all banged up and still was the best quarterback this weekend. Blues Bender, you are absolutely correct, sir. Trey was big today. Donald Ohina, yes, indeed. Woody XP is in the house. Ralph Rant for life. Let's fucking go, baby. Talk that up. Talk it up. Slim Nady, eat a dig, hags. Oh, Jags, I think he meant. Well, we don't need to serve that quite in our menu here, but I understand the sentiment, and I love you for it. Blues Bender, that win was on Allen. Bad calls, late hits, crushing his head. No run game. Absolutely. And people will come out and say, the poor Buffalo Bills would not have won that game without Josh Allen. Well, neither would any of the other teams without their starting quarterbacks. Please. That's what the quarterback position has become in the NFL. I know that's coming. Please no Houston. Woke is joke. I appreciate the sentiment. But I've got a 2-word reply to you. Fuck Houston. The Hags shut down Himbo and made us all sweat. Well, they're a good run-stopping team. They proved it. But what I liked is the Bills kept at it. And you could tell when Cook got about 7.5 or maybe 8 yards on first down there in the fourth quarter. That was a big run. That was big. Jags games were all like the Texans games. No fear versus Texans. I don't disagree with that at all. We know the Bills and what maybe was their most beat-down loss versus Houston. I don't know. Miami you can talk about, but whatever. But they were still so close to winning that game. Finally got that road playoff win. Slim Nady, 77. Thank you for being here, sir. That was throwing a ball over the falls. Be it short part, or shot put, or whatever. Keon Coleman arrived. Thank you very much, Barbingo. That's very true. Badass. That place was in front of my friend John Mann's house. Wow. That's on the video, right? Where they've got like the median in the street with curbs and like some foliage and this monument saying right here is where McKinley got shot. Big Bear had a good game. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, baby. Did today save Coleman's fate with the Bills? Coleman isn't going anywhere. Coleman's going to be great. Like I said, do you think McDermott would have gone to the trouble of publicly chastising him? They'd have just cut his ass. Come on. Coleman's going to be big. Coleman's going to be big these playoffs. You heard it here from the Ralph Rant. Jags do fall. Oh, it's do fall. Do fall. Okay. Because I was seeing the U, right? And I thought it was Vol or Val. Like what? Val? I don't know. Val what? Anyway, thanks for clarifying that for me. To all the Jags fans who are not showing up here, and all the ones that said they would return to my channel after this game because the Jaguars will win by 17. Josh Allen, baby. Josh Allen. This is going to be a great week, a great playoffs. That was huge. That was the Bills' biggest playoff win ever. Without a question, without a doubt, because it came on the road. You know, and I was thinking during the game, this actually reminded me, and I believe it might have, I don't know what of the 4 Super Bowl years this occurred in. Scott, you might know the answer to this, but they played Denver, and I believe they beat Denver 10-7 in a divisional playoff game, and I believe it was in Denver. I don't know if it was divisional or a wild card, actually, but certainly this game reminded me a lot of that. Hard fought both ways. Watch out for any team that clowns any other team in the playoffs, that they're going to get knocked down. Just like watch out for any team that comes in to the playoffs with an 8-game losing streak that apparently can't be broken. Duh, Val. James Cook carried 15 times for a total of 46 yards. His longest carry was 11 yards. That was an important one, too. If you combine Cooks and Allen, we had 78 yards. Well, the number they'd been maintaining, and they continue to maintain it. And the Jags can even go to their practice facility and, like, keep up the good work next week because they don't have a game. Do fall. Oh, there it is. Okay. You know, you guys ought to get that out on Twitter, right? The do fall thing. Ouch. Well, no. That's bad karma. Don't be like that, Ralph. And you were right again. Let's go. The Neek is in the house. The Neek 74. We missed Stephen Buick, Cook, and Allen. Yes, baby. Dennis Maxim Chuck. All we do is win, baby. Win on 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Win! It's probably just Josh's time. Every dog has their time. and every greatest athlete ever to play the quarterback position on the planet. No, we stopped them after the Davis fumble. Oh, we did. That's right. That's right. Thank you for that. Getting down to these comments. Play calling was great. Yeah, they did well. I just replied back to the Jags fans who trolled me on your video the other day. Felt good. Very well done. You know, I haven't been watching some of the conversations that developed because I know many of them were actually, the comments were directed at me directly. That bastard. How could he say that about our team? Duval County is where Jacksonville is located. Yes, I do know that. In fact, I spent a few sorry months actually living in that county right after my daughter, Taylor Salty, had been born. So I know all about Jacksonville. Max Doberman, we haven't seen you in a while. Go Bills, indeed. Beth Plant is here, never any doubt. That's right, baby. That's right. Jimmy Jams, Ralph called it. Bills used the rope-a-dope, intercepted Lawrence, and called it a game. Talk it up, brother. Talk it up. Jack D reminded me of the Dirty Birds. I had a feeling it would piss them off enough to win. There you go. Boy, Pats fans are lighting up my Facebook. They swore Bills would lose. Look out. We're still here, and nobody, like I said a couple of shows ago, nobody wants to see the Buffalo Bills. That's the last motherfucking team you want to see in these playoffs if you're an AFC squad or perhaps planning on the Super Bowl. Beth Plant, Josh is going to LA tonight for the Golden Globes. Is he going to make it there? Because I know Hallie is emceeing them or she's presenting in them or something, right? How freaking awesome is that? And confident. Well, just get someone from the training staff on you to tend to that ear and any other wounds you might have incurred. But you're made out of titanium, Josh. You're made out of titanium. The Jaguars have made it a habit of knocking quarterbacks out of games. Today, did not work. Hope you can type in the chat and you can hit like. Thanks, badass. Thank you very much. We need Oliver. Yes, we do. And now we're still alive to get him. Thanks, Barbingo. Welcome. Broncos are the biggest threat. I quoted The Godfather once earlier in the show, and I'll quote it again. Peyton could have never outfought McDermott. He's done. We're taking care of him soon. But honestly, Vito, I don't think he even gets to us. I think he loses tonight on Sunday Night Football. And as Forrest Gump once said, that's all I got to say about that. I would like to see the Texans again. They're on a long winning streak also. Well, you heard the stat before. Mike Tomlin is 23-0 at home on Monday nights with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can Oliver come back next week? We'll see. It sounds like it was getting close. I don't think McDermott liked predicting those things before the actual game to see if there even was a week. Include the college Miami-Ole Miss game. Playoff football been exciting, getting better than playoff hockey. Vito, talk that up, man. I've watched, if you haven't, these college playoffs, the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and now what this sets up to be with a team hosting the national championship in its own stadium, and that would be the Miami Hurricanes at Hard Rock Stadium versus Indiana. And it could well be the San Francisco 49ers, as many predicted, hosting the Buffalo Bills in the 49ers home stadium for the Super Bowl. Both home teams are going down. Keep these comments coming. They keep the show going. Chance for the AFC Championship game at home. Absolutely. That's why we need your belief tonight. Because the Chargers, the LA Chargers, We're in Foxborough, and the weather won't be too bad. No such thing as a bad karma. Pretty sure they make fun of us for losing 4 Super Bowls. Going to be sweet if we win it all. Well, Paul Chandler, it's going to be that much sweeter because we lost the 4. What you must understand, if you touch the doorknob into this podcast, it is to understand the fact that the NFL and your fandom and your passion is all about the emotion inflicted from the losses. I could not feel like this afternoon, this evening, with the Bills continuing in the playoffs after facing the toughest team they'll see in the playoffs, without having gone through those losses. The 4 Super Bowl losses, the 17-year playoff drought that developed a bunch of Debbie Downers. And Debbie Downers isn't intended to be sort of some gender thing that's insulting people. No, Debbie is an acronym. I'm sorry if you didn't know. DEBBI. That's Drought-Enhanced Buffalo Bills Insecurity Effect, which many suffer from. Ivan and me, AM. Vito's here. Why can't DB or linebacker do kickoffs? As to a better coverage team unless you want a specific type of kick. Well, you know, that's actually a nice point, and I actually have not heard that brought up before. But the thing is that that's taking a guy's time and practice away from something else. And if that guy should be on the special teams, he should be up in the line tackling. I think the Bills do it just fine. I like what they've done. I think they're developing a bit of a dirty kickoff with Mitch Wisnowski that we keep Prater off the field for kickoffs, which I like just fine. That was like the which doesn't show on my phone. Sorry. Oh, whatever that was. Thank you, Beth. Chagas. All right. Jags had lost 3 AFC championships. Yeah, the Blake Bortles Jags actually went on to lose to the Patriots in the AFC Championship after they got by McDermott's first edition of the Bills after the 2017 season in January of 2018. A score which McDermott has settled this day. So what are your thoughts on leaving 1 minute left when I play Madden? Would I run the clock to the last seconds? Well, you could obviously see that after the 10 or 9.835 421 yard tush push, because it wasn't quite 10, he didn't score. You could see the Jags allowed the Bills to score. They just let them walk through. Because if you give Buffalo a couple of tries at that, they're going to win. And if you, I thought, no, I didn't think. I thought it was a possibility the Bills could just kneel on it once to take more time and try to score, but no, you needed the score. They got that done, which was the right move. Well, I think we're to the bottom of the comments, and we're about 47 minutes into the show. I said I wasn't going to keep you long today. We've got more to talk about through the week. We've got to find what team the Bills will play, and we'll determine that after the game tonight. Almost, if it turns out one way. Stephen Buick, how funny would it be to play the AFC Championship in the Ralph? Those commemorative coins that people got last home game and tried to sell for $300 on eBay would be worthless. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I've got a commemorative ticket. Can that get in focus here? And that's Christian Benford after scoring that touchdown. And I had my eye right on that at the Ralph, at that game. My buddy Bruce, who essentially took me to that game, and I tried to cook good enough sausages in order to thank him for that. And thanks, Bruce. sent me this commemorative laminated ticket from that game, which now holds a place of honor on the Ralph shelf. We'll also show you this picture. This is Bruce and I on the field at the Ralph after that game in the snow. And yes, it was kind of crusty. And yes, that was an amazing win. But what else can we say here? So tonight's game, we've got the Chargers visiting the Patriots in Foxborough. The Chargers have been very tough lately. I think the Patriots have played a lesser schedule. This is the playoffs, and we see what happens to hot teams when they get to the playoffs, and it really counts. But this should be very, very interesting. If the Patriots win, the Patriots will be still in the playoffs, and that would make the Bills the lowest remaining seed because currently the Chargers are. And if that's the case, that will send Buffalo to Denver next weekend. If the Chargers win, they will be the lowest remaining seed, and they will visit the Broncos, and the Bills will instead meet the winners from Monday night, and they'll have a rest advantage of 1 day on that team between the Steelers and the Texans. And again, history favors the Steelers in this game. And this is when it's big time. This is when it's big time. But this was an amazing win by the Bills. I don't think I still quite believe it. I haven't looked at anything, heard any reactions at all. Got a few more of your comments here. We were a tough team. That last tush push said a lot. We're the most dangerous team and the most overlooked. I loved it. You're right. Baltimore Ravens team last year in playoffs were better than the Jaguars team today. I would say so. That Bedford Dix is awesome. Very cool. Thank you, Beth. Bob Marsh is here with us. Go Bills. Beth, that. Yes, Black Cloud. All right. As I'll tell you now, if I'm running over into another game, I don't like results to be published. Thank you for that. I don't want to hear any more, but there's some more because I'm going to go watch this stuff now. I saw the Bills' character and heart today, led by number 17. Bob Marsh, you're absolutely right. So my voice is half gone here. Again, I want to have a drink to the Bills. What a win. What a win. What a win. It was hell going through it, wasn't it? Yeah, I know you know. But nonetheless, it's going to be all right. A couple last comments here. My apologies, Ralph. I didn't know that. Duly noted, kind sir. Oh, no problem, man. It's early in the game. Paul Chandler, go Bills. And that's as good a one as to end it on because we're on to the divisional round of the playoffs. And by definition, we have already started a rest advantage on any opponent we might face. Thank you. What a win. Enjoy it, guys. Enjoy it. I'll be back with some analysis this week on what is coming up. And as you know, on the Ralph Rant, we're a little bit different than other shows. Other shows will show you all sorts of great information, film and takes and technical analysis to tell you how the Bills did what they did. On the Ralph Rant, I tell you why they did what they did. So having said that, let's go watch some more football with the victorious wildcard team, the first victory in the AFC side of the Vince Lombardi Trophy tournament that culminates in the Super Bowl. Yeah, baby. Bills win. So with that, thank you very much. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Just do it. Our videos are fun because I'll put out another reasons video why the Bills will win the next game, because they will. But having said that, let's go watch some more football, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills. The Bills win the wild card round against Jacksonville. Bring on the next opponent. I am the Ralph, and this is the Ralph Rant. Out.